I recently read about this new concept to me called skill stacking. It's the reason why breadth over depth is important and how people can make themselves more valuable to others when they pursue breadth in terms of the skills that they master instead of depth. So why it's important to diversify and stack your skills on top of each other instead of honing one skill and going very in depth. And in this tweet where I read this concept, the author, the Dan Koh, goes over 6 skills that are like the most important skills to have, and I thought that was really cool, so I'm going to talk about those right now. Skill number 1 is rapid learning. But how do you even learn how to learn? If you're anything like me, you've tried to learn a new skill and gone down this tutorial hell where you just like go watch tutorial after tutorial full of knowledge that at the end of the day, as a beginner, you're not really going to need. So what Dan Koh recommends is that you just pick up whatever you want to learn about and start doing it. You start, for example, using myself as an example, this camera. I just got this camera. Instead of going down tutorial hell, I picked it up. I'm gonna use it until I run into a problem like overexposed footage, or I don't know what focal length means or stuff like that. And then I'm gonna research about that specific problem. And then I'm gonna solve it and keep using it. And that's how I'm gonna learn to use this camera, by using it. The best thing about this is that by mastering this camera, whenever I pick up another camera, even if it's not this one or the same, I will be able to master that camera way quicker. And it's the same for skills like Photoshop or skills like photography or anything like that. As soon as you master one aspect of it, it's way easier to conquer the rest of that area of expertise. Number 2 is rapid execution, what I would call learning by doing. In my opinion, there are 2 very important steps that you have to take whenever you're starting something new. Number 1 is the first step, which is often the most difficult. Number 2 is the next step, which is often the most important. If the goal of anything you start is perfection, you're never going to keep going because it's very hard to be perfect ever, let alone at the beginning whenever you're starting. That's why I call this learning by doing, because you start by producing things. Content, for example, YouTube videos, my first 100 videos, far from perfect, far from the best I will ever make, but you have to make them, and it's only through making them that you will gain experience, through feedback, through performance, through data, through analytics, through all that you realize, okay, this works, this doesn't. And learning by doing is one of the best ways of getting started, but also learning and continuing to learn while you are progressing in the field. You also learn things through doing that you would never ever learn through theory. Even if you read every single book on YouTube, you probably wouldn't learn as much as if you posted 50 or 100 or 10 videos. And that's a really important thing to keep in mind. Number 3 is psychology, or what Dan Koh calls marketing and sales. The basis is that psychology is the root of every interaction we have with another person, which is basically our entire lives. If we understand other people, we will be able to serve them better, we will be able to provide more value, know what they want, know what we want, know how to work with them. Other people are at the basis of everything we do, whether it's customers, relationships, friendships, parents, all of it. It's all with other people. So understanding them and understanding ourselves is really important. If we understand what people need, what people want, how we can help people, then the value we can provide will increase dramatically. He words it as, and I quote, "People want a higher quality human experience. Give it to them." Number 4 is writing. Communication is the basis of everything we do, and writing is the best way of sharing those ideas, whether it's captions, hashtags, YouTube descriptions, even YouTube content is scripted like this, and this came from a tweet that he wrote too. So everything is written, or most things are written. There's 2 steps to writing. Step 1 is capturing attention, which is the current currency in the creator economy. Step 2 is holding that attention. Anybody can write a clickbait title or make a clickbait thumbnail or write a really good hook. It's what you do once you have that attention, those 5 seconds, those 3 seconds of attention, that really determines how your content does and how much value you can provide. So far we've come up with a message that is valuable and will resonate. But what comes next? Next is the packaging, how we make it attractive. And we do that through visual design. I could say the most valuable things right now, but if it doesn't make you feel anything, you're probably gonna click off the video. That's why it's important to train your designer's eye so you can hone and recognize what makes people feel things and what doesn't. The way to do this is through investing time into things like photography, graphic design, filmmaking, editing, color grading, all of these creative outputs that also train your designer's eye are a good way of getting a feel for what makes people feel things and what they feel when they see different types of content. Then you can apply that to your content, to whatever you're creating, and it will resonate so much more. Alright, so far, all these skills we've stacked lead to us having built something valuable, having the ability to communicate something what the value is, and then being able to distribute it to different media. But how do we make people see it? How do we put this in front of people's eyes? Networking is the hardest skill to hack because there's no shortcut to it. It takes time and trust and consistency to build an audience, a customer base, whatever it is, a group of friends. It all takes time, and the more time it takes, the more valuable, the more deep that relationship will be, and that's better for everybody. But if you would like a video on how to build a network also by Danco, then let me know in the comments and I will do that in the future. But yeah, subscribe and I'll catch you guys next week.